Wednesday, August 19th, noon in Ukraine. This is our time. The studio is Sakin and Mirzayev. Russian forces struck a shuttle bus with a drone in the Korabelny district of Kherson. 4 people were killed and at least 4 others were injured, the regional military administration reported. All victims received medical assistance. In addition, throughout the day, the Russian military struck critical and social infrastructure and residential areas of the region's settlements, resulting in damage to 3 multi-story buildings and 15 private homes. UN Under-Secretary General for Humanitarian Affairs and Emergency Relief Coordinator Tom Fletcher is in Kherson. He arrived on the eve of World Humanitarian Day. During the visit, the official met with local residents, volunteers, and doctors from the Kherson Regional Hospital. He saw the conditions in which local residents live and work during the incessant Russian terror.
You can feel the collective trauma and collective anxiety of the population living under this constant threat. We are seeing this frightening combination of technological ingenuity and the changing nature of war. And on this World Humanitarian Day, we must send a signal. We must protect civilians. There must be accountability. We must ensure that the rules keep pace with these technological developments that are causing such horrific harm to civilians and humanitarian workers. Before the full-scale war, we were primarily a hospital for elective medical care. But during this catastrophe, we switched to providing emergency care. We treat strokes, heart attacks, and mostly blast injuries. Unfortunately for Kherson right now, this is a very critical issue. About 70% of our wounded sustained injuries from drone explosions, and a smaller portion from artillery shelling.
Russia attacked a market in the center of Zaporizhzhia. The strike hit a residential area. 1 person is known to have died and 7 have been injured. Earlier, the regional military administration reported problems with power supply following the Russian shelling.
As a result of these attacks, 8 multi-story buildings and 8 private houses were damaged. Currently, the inspection of the areas is being completed. Utility services are covering windows, boarding them up with OSB, and doing everything possible so that residents can return to their homes as soon as possible. There are 56 wounded people in hospitals, ranging in age from 5 to 87 years old, including 5 children. Ivan Fedorov, head of the Zaporizhzhia Regional Military Administration, on the air of the Adini Novini Marathon.
A Russian drone attacked a residential building in Balaklia, Kharkiv region. A family with a child, a 9-year-old boy, was injured. As a result of the shelling, a house was damaged, the regional prosecutor's office reported with details. The Russian army struck the city with Garand-type drones. The Izium prosecutor's office has launched a pre-trial investigation into the commission of a war crime. Almost 240 combat engagements occurred on the front line over the past 24 hours. This was reported by the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. The Kostiantinovka direction remains the most tense. There, the defense forces repelled 31 enemy attacks. In the Pokrovsk direction, the Russian army attacked 27 times, and 12 times in the Huliaipol direction. In the Orikhiv direction, Ukrainian defenders stopped 1 attempt by the Russians to advance. In the Volyn and Polisia directions, no signs of the formation of Russian offensive groups have been detected. The task of Russian troops, particularly in the Kharkiv direction, specifically in the Kupiansk area, is to wedge into the entire front line using the smallest possible groups, thereby distracting Ukrainian forces from the main directions. This assumption was expressed on our broadcast by Pavlo Lakichuk, head of military security programs at the Center for Global Studies, Strategy 21.
Russia continues to have an advantage in manpower, a significant advantage. Therefore, to make the most of this advantage, they need to stretch our resources and our reserves as much as possible and prevent us from concentrating on the direction of the main strikes. Accordingly, you see, Vovchansk is burning, Kupiansk is burning.
In the Russian city of Dzerzhinsk in the Nizhny Novgorod region, a factory belonging to one of the largest explosives manufacturers is ablaze following a drone attack, reports the Telegram channel Astra. According to their information, the territory of the defense chemical plant is on fire. The enterprise has a history spanning over a century and is under sanctions from several countries. Germany may provide backup equipment for the restoration of the Chernobyl nuclear power plant shelter. This was announced by the first Vice Prime Minister and Minister of Energy of Ukraine, Denis Shmyhal, following a meeting with representatives of German companies. He, in particular, noted the assistance of German partners in training Ukrainian specialists and supplying necessary equipment. He emphasized that Germany's contribution to the Ukraine Energy Support Fund amounts to more than 500 million euros. 8 countries that are not members of the European Union have joined the bloc's sanctions against Belarus. In particular, Ukraine has done so, as well as Albania, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Iceland, Liechtenstein, Montenegro, North Macedonia, and Norway. The decision was welcomed by the EU High Representative for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy, Kaja Kallas. As a reminder, in July, the European Union decided to impose additional sanctions in connection with Belarus's involvement in the Russian aggression against Ukraine. They're expanding restrictions on goods and technologies that could strengthen Belarus's military, technological, or defense capabilities, or its security sector. NATO has prepared an action plan in the event of a large-scale Russian attack on alliance countries. The document provides for countering missile strikes and drone attacks, deterring a ground offensive, and striking Russia's military logistics, reports the German publication Bild. It is emphasized that NATO's goal is not to seize Russian territory, and the alliance's main tasks in the event of war are to stop a Russian offensive and significantly weaken the military potential of the Russian Federation. Heavy downpours have caused landslides and evacuations in northern Chile. A red alert level has been declared in 4 municipalities of the region at once. The storm led to flooded streets, damaged roads and buildings, and rushing torrents of water swept away cars. Authorities have announced the evacuation of residents from the most dangerous areas. In the hardest-hit province, the president of Chile declared a state of emergency and ordered additional forces and material resources to be sent there. Local residents fear that new landslides could threaten homes, especially at night when the rainfall continues.
Right now, the biggest fear is that this mudslide will come down and sweep away our homes, or even a person, because it happens at night when it's raining, and we don't know where the mudslide is coming from. Besides that, we don't have any street lighting, so we live in the dark.
The situation is very difficult. People are very scared. We haven't had rains like this in many years, and now the water has flooded the bays, beaches, and people's homes. They need help.
The death toll from the powerful earthquake in Colombia has risen to 312 people. Another 4,611 were injured, 290 people are listed as missing, and 358 have been rescued. Tremors with a magnitude of 7.5 on the Richter scale occurred back on August 10th. The epicenter was in the Chaco department. The earthquake affected about a third of the country's territory. The settlements near the epicenter were the hardest hit, and search and rescue operations are continuing there. Emergency services are clearing rubble, trying to find people who may still be trapped under the destroyed buildings. Humanitarian aid continues to arrive in the affected areas from various regions of Colombia and from other countries. Rescue operations are ongoing. According to preliminary estimates by the authorities, the economic damage from the disasters about $9.6 billion. Be at the center of events wherever you are. Live broadcasts, exclusive projects, and breaking reports from all over the planet on your smartphone. The whole world in the Freedom app. Scan the QR code, download it right now, and get access to interesting content.
Subscribe to UATV English and stay updated on the most important events, top news from Ukraine and all over the world, in-depth analysis, exclusive reports and interviews, all on hand in our channel. Join our community of viewers and stay tuned.